Title: The Head of the Household. Sophia sat at the kitchen table, arms folded tight against her chest, staring at the man she had promised to love for life. Her husband, David, spoke with certainty about a financial decision he had already made for their family. The problem was, it wasn't what she wanted, and it wasn't what she believed was best. "Why is it always your way?" she muttered under her breath, loud enough for him to hear but soft enough to sound like she was still deciding if she wanted an argument. "Why do you get to be the head of the household? Why don't my decisions ever matter?" David barely looked up from the papers in front of him. His silence was worse than words. Sophia felt unseen, unheard, and worst of all, unrespected. That night, long after David had gone to sleep, Sophia sat alone in the dark living room replaying the evening in her head. She was frustrated, hurt, and full of questions. As she sat in silence, a faint memory floated back. Her grandmother's voice, warm and steady like it had always been when Sophia was a child. "A man may be the head of the household," her grandmother had said, rocking in her old wooden chair. "But a woman is the neck of the household. The neck controls the head. The neck tells the head which direction to turn. Once you understand and master that skill, you'll have total control." Sophia smiled faintly at the memory. At the time, she hadn't fully understood. Now, sitting in her home as a wife, the meaning sank deep into her heart. The next morning, instead of confronting David again, she tried something different. She softened her tone, greeted him with warmth, and set his coffee on the table just the way he liked it. She listened more and spoke less, not in defeat, but in quiet strategy. She cooked his favorite meals, kept the house in order, and carried herself with a grace she hadn't shown in years. David noticed. His shoulders seemed lighter when he came home. He smiled more, reached for her more often, and in conversations he started asking her opinion. Really asking, not just out of politeness. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. Sophia realized something remarkable. The more she leaned into her femininity, her softness, and her attentiveness, the more power she actually had. David, without realizing it, began to follow her subtle guidance. He trusted her judgment. He leaned on her intuition. Before long, Sophia was the one setting the rhythm of the household. Decisions that once shut her out now began with, "Sophia, what do you think?" She didn't